Hello. This is my personal experiment app that I've been working on for a little bit now. It's still fairly early in its development, but I just wanted to show off what I have so far, as I'm going to start kind of blogging and recording my progress and insights from this point on. So the kind of bottom line of this application is to be a very simple way to run just personal experiments. A lot of experimentation software out there is meant for enterprise, or is, in my opinion, overloaded with features. So I just thought, what about just the average day-to-day person wanting to run just little experiments on different things, even the mundane, like cooking or something like that. We're able to try a bunch of things and record the result and find out what works for even mundane everyday things. So fairly bare bones right now, and it's missing a lot of the features it will eventually have, but basically each thing that you want to experiment on I call an arena. I'm not really sure where I got that word from, it just sounded right to me. But you go ahead and add an arena. I mentioned cooking, for example, so let's say you're trying to perfect a chicken recipe. Here is where you would add factors that just might affect how much you can trust your results. So, one thing you can't really control, for example, is the quality of the chicken. Right? I mean, that's up to the supermarket. You kind of just have to trust that they have quality chicken. So, and then you kind of guesstimate how much that might affect things. So that could affect that a lot. So I decided to do a macro micro slider, where the macro slider is roughly how much you think it affects it. So I would say the quality is probably fairly significant. It doesn't matter how well I cook it. If the quality's bad, it's just not going to be good. So let's say maybe it's 70 out of 100, and within 70 you can kind of fine tune it. I would say it's on the higher end of that 70, so maybe 77, and go ahead and submit that. That'll populate, and you can select it and delete it if you need to. And it could be that this wouldn't be the last time you need this set of factors. You can save a preset. So I can say chicken factors or whatever. And if I delete that, I can just load that in again. Or I could even right click just to double check what was in there, and then it populates. Submit that, and you can select it. And just to show you different arenas, maybe I'm trying to perfect a pasta recipe. So you can click back and forth. And then within these we have trials, right? So there's a lot of different ways you can cook chicken, right? For example, there's dry brining. So, and then my program doesn't really do anything with the success and failure. This is for you to determine if it was a success or failure. So for success, I might say chicken is tender, cooked all the way through, moist, and then if it's dry or undercooked, I would call that a failure. Those factors I mentioned earlier apply to the whole arena. All my chicken trials are going to be affected by the quality, but maybe for dry brining in particular, I haven't implemented it yet. But I might say the quality of the salt that I use, or just the natural variation in how much salt I put might kind of affect that individually. So I'll combine with the overall factors. And then just additional notes, you can put whatever you want in here. This hello text is just a placeholder, but that's where your skepticism is going to go, which is how much you trust the data. So here's your dry brine. It's not implemented yet, but what's going to happen is as you dry brine your chicken, you can record if it was a success or failure, and this will either be a check mark or an X, depending on the success or failure of that trial. The more successes you have, this will be a green check mark. Or if you have more failures than successes, it'll be an X, and that gives you an idea of, this technique works pretty well or doesn't work pretty well. And this skepticism score will tell you how much you should trust that. And that's really all I have so far. But once fleshed out, it should be a pretty good way to just lightweight experiment with things in your life. Again, even as mundane as cooking, or it could be a relationship, like you have a friend, right? Maybe trying to figure out, does he like to go out to restaurants? And he was happy, not happy, whatever. And what's going to happen eventually is you'll start to do these, you'll record if it was a success or failure, and they're going to add up to kind of give you a result. So I just wanted to blog this out, and I just started now. This is what I have so far. I'm excited to see where it goes.